Today, we're going to start the session with a conversation with Cohen from Viola Ventures. I've known him for a long, long time. We were just chatting before we kicked off the session that it's been over 10 years that we've known each other. We've been here before. Welcome to the show. Let's catch up.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It's great to be here. I really appreciate, and it's always nice chatting with you. So I really appreciate the time.
So let's catch up. You know, for us, we've been just like you and I have known each other for a very long time and observed the industry for a very long time. You know, we often have guests with whom we've had very long relationships. We work with a very large network of people. Yesterday, I had a wonderful experience, and I want to share this with you. There's a blog post on this actually on our website as well as on LinkedIn today for those of you listening. A company that I got to know through 1Mby1M about 15 years ago, and the entrepreneur has been doing this company for 22 years. He started in 1998. His name is Sharat Sharan, and he runs a company called On24. And this company went public yesterday, and it was a very successful IPO. And I just want to share with you this story to start today's session because it's a story of persistence. You know, length of commitment matters. Length of commitment matters in what you choose to do, how persistent you are to execute against your conviction, and so forth. So I'm a very big believer in persistence, length of commitment, and also length of relationship. So, Danny, let's catch up on what you've been up to since we last spoke and what's going on with Viola.
Sure, yeah. So definitely persistence, and it makes you think that in today's market, which is such a bull market, and everything goes up and up and up and up. Sometimes we don't give enough attention for people that are persistent, and it takes them a little bit more of a while to get value creation. So it's always nice to hear someone that it's been at it for over 20 years. Look, for us at Viola, it's been a crazy year, right? I think like everybody else. I told someone yesterday that in April we thought that this is a replay of 2008 all over again, right? Because the markets were so bad. Then 6 months later, we feel it's 2000 all over again, right? With the market so up high. So it's been quite bipolar. But it's been a fantastic year for us on the business side. I wouldn't say so much on the personal side, just because of being at home the whole time. But we can talk about what's happening in Israel, but the market is booming. We got our startups really doing great stuff, and the valuations are there, the exits are there. So it's been a good year. So,
what funds of Viola are you on right now? Is it the second fund?
No. Yeah, we're investing out of Fund 5.
Fund 5.
Yeah. No, that's okay. So we started in 2000. So we've been raising approximately every 4 or 5 years, and we just are finishing up on our 5th fund, which is about a $200 million fund.
You were not with Viola all along, though.
No, I was with Gemini, which is another Israeli fund. So I was with Gemini with 12 years, and then I moved to Viola about 8 years ago.
Right. So how big is Viola's current fund?
Yeah, so Viola, we have a few funds, actually. We have a ventures fund and a growth fund. So overall, we manage almost $3 billion, which is a big number for Israel for sure. But again, I focus all my time on the ventures early stage side, and the early stage side is, again, about $1 billion under management, 5 funds of $200 million each. So that's our current size.
And what check size are you writing?
Yeah, so, what hasn't changed for us is that we're early stage investors, so we do seed and A/B, so we haven't changed. And our focus in the area also hasn't changed. What did change is the market. So seed A, B used to be seed was 250 and A was 3 million and B was 10 million. Now seed is 3 million and A is 15 million. So we still do seed A, B, but we try to keep our check size somewhere in the round between, I would say, $1 million on the low end and up to 10 million. Yeah, so that's kind of our main target focus.
And from a sector focus, what's the current thinking and where is the energy?
Yeah, so again, we focus mostly on Israel, and we try to follow what's interesting in Israel. I would say that there are three core areas for us. One is AI, of course. Everybody's in AI, but we try to focus on vertical industries where AI is making an impact. So how AI is disrupting vertical markets. We call it vertical AI. So that's kind of a big theme for us.
Yeah.
We have a big theme around, kind of Deeptech, which is, I think, a fancy word for a lot of chips and semiconductors and things more the infrastructure side. And then we think Israel is really good on online distribution. So anything that is has a strong element of online distribution, could be consumer or SMB, but really leverages kind of growth hacking is something that we also are looking for because that really creates strong growth when it works well.
Great. And when you invest, what do you want to see, let's say at the earliest that you invest in, what do you like to see by way of proof points these days?
Yeah, so, we always, I would say that we look at mostly, well, it depends, I think, on what side of the business that we're talking about. It changes dramatically between a deep tech startup and a online distribution company. I would say when the team is proven and is known to be a strong team, then I think you basically you almost don't need any proof point, right? So when a great team comes on board, they can now these days just raise money like that. When it's a first-time team and they just start, and everybody starts somewhere, right? Then I think what we want to see is minimal traction, probably in the relevant target market. So to see a little bit of consumer or SMB traction in the U.S. If it's an enterprise, we want to see one or two kind of beta customers. And on the Deeptech side, what we really want to see is some sort of a technology roadmap. It doesn't even have to be technology proof, but some sort of a clear architecture that makes sense for us.
Got it. And your go-to-market strategy in seed, Series A, Series B is primarily the United States?
Go-to-market for the companies. So the companies are all, as I said, they're all Israeli startups. But I think what's unique about Israel than all the other global regions is that I think, startups in China start in China, startups in India start in India, startups in Germany go after the German market. In Israel, they go after mostly the U.S. market. Yeah. So we do launch in Israel a little bit, but we actually prefer to see a U.S. launch right off the bat. Yeah.
Great. So I'm going to start double-clicking down on your AI investments. And vertical AI is something we've seen a lot. I have actually one specific question that I want to kick around with you for a bit. You may have read my PaaS articles. I've written a whole series of articles on PaaS and what's happening in that market. And for those of you who are listening and may not have read the article, basically my thesis on PaaS is as follows. You have a AI company, SaaS company starting with a particular use case, a particular functional domain, or a particular vertical domain, and then there's a whole stack underneath that is built, which is often opened up as a platform to build other verticals, build other functions, so on and so forth. So in AI in particular, this is a very promising opportunity. We saw the strategy very successfully followed by Salesforce.com, and as a result, Salesforce dominates the PaaS market today. There are other players who are following this strategy, like Atlassian is doing a nice job. Atlassian now has over $100 million in PaaS revenue. Shopify is following this strategy. And there are a bunch of data companies, like a Snowflake, for example, is following that strategy, and so on and so forth. So there is there's maybe one vertical that you go to market with, or maybe even within a vertical you go to market with one use case, but there are many other use cases that could be tackled within that vertical even. So what are you seeing in your portfolio? How are companies being built? And let's go over some case studies of interesting companies that are thinking about this strategically.
Yeah, so I think you outlined it perfectly in a sense that companies can do that by disrupting vertical markets, and you can do that by growing to horizontal functions. It's a little bit of a different strategy on both sides, right?
Yeah.
Let me, one of our favorite examples, we're investors in a company called Verbit, which is what they do is they do transcription. Actually, they can go and transcribe exactly this session right now. And transcription has been an area that has been booming, especially in the COVID area, because so much is happening online, right, in universities and in the legal industry and healthcare industry. But they leverage AI to do a much, much better transcription at a much lower cost, right? So it's a services-based industry that did it by putting people that listened and wrote down what they heard, right? And leveraging AI, they can basically transcribe at a fraction of the cost of what was done by the services industry. So you have a market that is basically dominated by a very, kind of low margin business, and now tech is coming in and basically buying up everybody in that industry and kind of taking up all the customers, and the company is growing so fast, right? So it's basically leveraging a great need with unique technology. What of course is interesting is once you start working on it, the more customers you get, the better you get, right? Because the data in AI is an asset that makes you that key advantage is improving you in the market. So you get better at what you do, you get more customers, you get even better, you get more customers. So that virtuous cycle is something that we see is quite unique, and that company has been working very nicely in gaining true market share. We've seen a very similar play in a company that hasn't launched yet, so I'm not going to mention the name, but is doing something similar around kind of HR side, right, which is collecting HR information across the company and basically leveraging that to give insight information to the head of HR, which is exactly an area that's been doesn't have enough data, and leveraging data of around employees gives better insight to the HR manager. And again, once you launch that and you start working with the different companies, you leverage the data you get to give better insights to ongoing customers. The challenge, I think, for all these companies is the initial data start, right? So if you look back historically for SaaS companies, they did a product and they could launch. For these companies to get launched, they need to work on some sort of a subset of data, and that data takes a much longer time to go to market for the initial side, which basically requires a little bit of a bigger investment at the seed and A rounds.
Yeah. Now, the first one that you talked about, Verbit, where you're doing transcription, what vertical applications are you going after first?
Yeah, so they most of their revenue at this point, I think, comes out of the education industry. So mostly online courses that need to be transcribed. And again, that market has just been, growing so fast because of COVID, right? That everything is happening online. So that's their main market. But they are also operating in the legal market again as well, which is a very large market. Legal,
healthcare, right? The patient transcripts and so forth. Healthcare transcription is a very big market. And is this when they go into other verticals, are they working with other, system integrators or other ISVs who are building apps on top of that platform? How are they going to market?
No, mostly I think they're going market. They go to market directly, right? So it's an online distribution. They basically have their own sales force, and so far it's been directly interacting with customers. I don't think they've been going through ISVs, through system integrators at all.
All right, cool. All right. What else is interesting in your portfolio of the companies that you're particularly excited about?
Sure. So another kind of AI company that we're very excited about is a company called 1Mby1M, which is using AI to basically use patient data around the immune system. So they collect information from different people around their immune system and trying to leverage that data to help drug companies develop better drugs, which is, again, is very, very of importance these days. But again, it's leveraging important data on healthy people and not healthy people to understand better the immune system. We're very excited by that company because we think the potential, the immune system is definitely one area that is not understood enough. And again, I think in 2020, we understand that it has critical part of saving humanity, but they're trying to leverage that to think about cancer and other areas. So that one is a company we're very excited about. Again, they're called 1Mby1M. And then completely in a different area, we're investors in a company called Lightrix, which we've been at it for quite some time, which is a mobile image editing and creativity app suite on mobile. So mostly around image editing, video editing, which has been growing unbelievably fast and is becoming kind of the, if you will, the Adobe of the mobile world, which we think is a great opportunity that has been kind of left behind and can become a multi-billion-dollar story.
And that's all mobile distribution, right? Mobile app downloads and
mobile, absolutely, and mobile subscription, right? So people download the app, they subscribe, and some users have been with us for 4 or 5 years. So people love the products and using it constantly. Yeah.
Well, one of my favorite apps that I use, actually 2 of them that I use a lot are, one is Duolingo, which is a language learning app. That's a mobile subscription model that I think is doing very well at this point. And people are, it costs nothing, right? You get tremendous value. If you have the discipline to actually learn on your own, it's an excellent app, absolutely. So I do French on Duolingo. And there's a great chess app that I use also. Again, very, very low price, very, very small price, and it's enormous amount of value. So I think the mobile subscription model is in apps is going very well.
Absolutely, agreed. And we've seen that in companies, not in our portfolio, but great examples in companies like Headspace and Calm and many other areas. We've seen that going into the entertainment and games world, of course. And I think there are many other opportunities where the mobile subscription business model is proving to be a great way to basically increase LTV for consumer apps and just getting better unit economics.
Yeah. What else in the other, non-mobile or non-app, non-AI space, in Deeptech, for instance, what are you seeing? That's actually one of the things that there's very little investment in semiconductors and hardware. So what is your thesis? What kinds of things are you investing in, and what are the dynamics of that space from your point of view?
Yeah, and again, I'm not an expert, but in general, I will say that I think we're moving a little bit from a world that was dominated by Intel with the multi-purpose processor, right? That was one processor used for almost every task, and moving into a breakdown where different tasks are basically require different chips just because performance is so much, we're hungry for performance on every top of the computing side, right? So dedicated chips for AI, dedicated chips for storage acceleration, in many, many different areas. We call it in a little bit of the breakdown of Intel, but I think maybe not great for Intel, but that's a great opportunity for new semiconductor companies. Israel is very strong on semiconductors, so we see a lot of entrepreneur activity there. And that is an area where we think we can invest and get a unique position because not so much money is going into those areas. That's why we're so excited to put money in those startups.
Yeah, well, and it needs that money because, you know, a very small percentage of the venture capital industry is willing to do those kinds of businesses right now. And I think that category of entrepreneurs are really having a hard time getting financed.
Yeah, you know, one of the things we understand, and I think the way you build the consortium for a chip deal, semiconductor investment versus a software investment is very different. So in software, you would do maybe an A round on your own and then kind of take it out for a nice up round. I think on the semiconductor side, you come in with a consortium right up front with 2-3 funds, and they fund it for the rounds after that, just because it takes time to really unlock the value. When it unlocks, it's amazing, but you need to have more money around the table when you start.
Yeah. Well, there's going to be at least one major acquirer who needs a strategy. Intel lacks a strategy right now, so Intel is quite desperate for looking for good, you know, high potential companies in that space, I think. NVIDIA, on the other hand, is going gangbusters. This market that you talked about, AI chips and stuff, and NVIDIA dominates that marketplace. It's very
By the way, NVIDIA acquired in Israel Mellanox, which was a huge acquisition last year. And they are definitely, you know, they're the big gorilla there. So, yeah, I mean, those are all big companies that are hungry for acquisitions, which is a great opportunity for us.
Yeah. All right. Well, I know you have a meeting in just a few minutes, and you have a hard stop. So I will let you go. Thank you for coming, and we will continue in the conversation in a bit, okay?
Thanks a lot. It's great seeing you, and it's great catching up. Thanks a lot for the time.
Likewise. Bye-bye.
Bye.